Okay, hi everybody. Josh Wagner here. I hope that you are all doing fantastically. I know that I am. I'm having a great night. If everybody would check in if you're live, I'm only watching the linked thing. I'm not watching the comments on Facebook or YouTube. So check in the chat. Tell me where you're from. You can just tell me the state that you're in, and I will make it so you can see me, actually. So here I am, Josh Wagner. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I know people are coming from all over the place. Going to be just having a great night. And I think that this is a really great opportunity for us to all get together, to have a great time, to really enjoy what's going on here. So again, everybody... Okay, we got somebody from Arkansas. That's great. Lorraine, I know where you're from. We got some, so go ahead and check in as you're getting here. And if you're watching the recording, check in. Perhaps this is, you couldn't come on the live, which is Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern. But if you're watching the recording, that's also good. Or maybe you're watching this even several months later after I've done it. So our topic is a very, very good one tonight. So let's, I'm going to let everybody kind of check in. Oh, we got Michelle from Ohio. Okay, great to have you. We have quite a few people here right now, so that's really nice. And so we're going to get into this topic really fast. And it's kind of what I do, understanding and healing anxiety and depression. Now, obviously, this is not going to heal everybody's anxiety and depression tonight, but excuse me. So, but it's going to be a great kind of opener to what's going on with anxiety, what's going on with depression, what's going on with those sorts of things. Good. Rob's in Ohio. Got that. Excellent. So again, if you are watching this sometime later, put a comment in or send me a comment. Perhaps you're watching it on a different platform and there's a chat box there. But it's really great to have all of you here. So my first question is, can you recall a time in your life in which you have been completely overwhelmed? If you've ever been overwhelmed by something, type yes into the chat. Now, we're just gonna talk very briefly about what trauma is. I know that we've covered it in other things, but I also think it's also very important to cover it again and again, and sort of understand exactly where we're all coming from. Because I know that I've been overwhelmed by things, and what trauma is it's something that overwhelms. Yes, getting some yeses there. It's something that overwhelms our capability to emotionally handle it. So something yes. Okay, I've gotten a lot of yeses in there. That's right. Heck yeah, from Rob. Yes, that's right, Drew. Okay, that's great. So yeah, that's the meaning of trauma. And specifically, everybody has anxiety. Okay, everybody has high times and low times. Everybody gets anxious. Anxiety is a function, which we're going to talk about here, of your unconscious mind really doing is exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and which is protecting you from a whole bunch of things. So let's talk about this. So I know that quite a few of you put a lot of yeses in there. Anxiety is more than just occasional stress, okay? It's a persistent feeling of unease, such as worry or fear. These feelings can range from mild to severe and can interfere with daily activities, making even simple tasks seem daunting. So this is a really good definition of, my quote got cut off there, but it's a really good definition of exactly what anxiety is. It's a persistent feeling. It's something that can overwhelm us. It's something that can really take its toll on us. Yeah, we're getting a lot of great participation here. And so anxiety in some regard is there to actually help you. It's there to protect you. If you're being chased by a bear, then it's really important that you have anxiety to tell you that the bear's coming. Don't go that way. Yes, so Lorraine, you agree with the description. But what happens is that when we have a traumatic event happen to us, that anxiety can be supercharged. And the way that I like to think about it, and trauma can be anything we can't handle. Remember what I've said in previous broadcasts here. I think that it's important to remember that trauma can, what's traumatic for one person might not seem like anything to another person. So we can't compare our traumas, but anything that overwhelms us emotionally. Maybe we're just having. I remember when I was in junior high school. This is a great example. And like I was in junior high school, and boys would be boys, and one of them like did a rubber band with a paper clip and hit me in the face, and I just lost my mind. Like I started crying. I was in 7th grade, so give me a pass. And it was just like that one little thing just tipped me over the edge. So you can be having a really bad day, and that one thing tips you over the edge, and that's your traumatic event. And then what happens is that your nervous system goes on high alert, and everything becomes chaos. And the way that I like to think about high anxiety is it's like having a smoke detector in your house that's set so sensitively that even when you make toast, it sets off the fire alarm. Is anybody else like that? Has anybody else been in that kind of situation? Where just like the smallest thing set you off, and all of a sudden you're just feeling it in your entire body. Now everything that I'm describing here, we're gonna talk about how to fix this. So we just want to be patient with ourselves here. You know, I don't want to trigger anybody or get anybody worried or anything like this. But this is a really great definition because mild anxiety is okay. You know, mild anxiety, everybody has a little bit of mild anxiety. I tell people I can't take away their anxiety completely because you need it. You need that spidey sense to tell you what's going on. But the severe crippling kind, that is unnecessary. It's absolutely unnecessary for us to experience that kind of level of anxiety. So let's go on to depression. Then we're going to talk about kind of both here in a second. Depression isn't just feeling down. It's a profound mood disorder characterized by prolonged feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and a lack of interest or pleasure in activities. This can lead to physical symptoms and can affect one's ability to function in daily life. So what do we think of that? What do we think of that? What do we think of that definition there? What do we think of that definition there? Lorraine, I got your approval on the last definition. Nearly had an ulcer in middle school. Yeah, so that's from the anxiety. So now listen, if you are suffering from, if you have these symptoms, you can't just come to me. You've got to go to a doctor first. If you're feeling like you got to get some kind of help, medication's okay. But here's the deal with medication. I'm not against medication, and if you're feeling any of these symptoms, you got to go to a doctor. But let me tell you, you've got to go into the doctor with the idea, if you're suffering from depression, if you're anhedonic, what anhedonic means is that you find pleasure in nothing. Like nothing that usually makes you feel good makes you feel good. If you're anhedonic, if you can't get out of bed, if you are lethargic in a way that's kind of chronic, go see somebody. But if you're going to go see them, go with the mentality that this is temporary. The last thing that you need to do, and you do not need to do this, now this is not medical advice, but you don't have to be on antidepressants your entire life. There's a lot of studies out there kind of debunking antidepressants right now, so if you've been on them, stay on them. Don't do anything contrary to what your doctor has said, but you've got to do other things in addition to the antidepressants. You've got to do something in addition to the antidepressants, whether it's you come to me for hypnotherapy, whether you are... you're going to see some talk therapy, you're doing shock therapy. I don't really care what you do. You've got to get this from every single angle. Because depression is not something to be trifled with. It's a difficult thing for a lot of people. And I think that this lady in the picture here, I use a lot of stock photos, but I think this lady in the picture kind of shows us what it is. Now here's the upshot, everybody. Here's the thing that I just couldn't believe. Hi, Jennifer, how you doing? So, anhedonic means, Lorraine, that you don't take pleasure in anything. You don't take pleasure in food. You don't take pleasure in relationships. You don't take pleasure in intimate relationships. You don't take pleasure in shopping or drinking or any of those kind of things. Anhedonic means that you don't enjoy anything. So if you're anhedonic, if nothing seems to work for you, if you're doing the normal kind of self-soothing stuff and it's not working, you got to go see a doctor at this point. And if you go see a doctor, if you're on antidepressants, you can come see someone like myself. You can go see a talk therapist. You got to do this from every angle. Now, I will tell you my story, is that I had anxiety and depression. I had a major life change a few years ago. And for the first few months of that life change back in 2019, I was anhedonic. I was unsafe to drive. I had to stay home a lot because of that. I didn't have a fear of driving, but I was just in trouble with that. And I started on Lexapro, and I was having panic attacks twice a day. And that's, I was going to talk therapy. I was doing everything that I'm telling you to do. You've got to get this. So if you would get up in the morning looking forward to nothing but your afternoon nap. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you get up looking forward to sleeping again. Again, go, get some help. Have somebody drive you to the doctor. Yeah, Lorraine, I see what you're saying there, and perhaps we need to have a chat sometime soon. Again, I know we chatted last week a bit, but we should maybe have another chat sometime soon. But I will tell you that good hypnotherapy got me off of all that stuff when I really allowed myself to be healed by it. Now, we'll talk about that here in a minute. But when we talk about depression, the interesting thing about depression is, now I know somebody's texting me right now and I can't really look at the text. Sounds like me trying everything but nothing works. Right. Well, and that was me as well. Now, I will say within 6 months of starting hypnotherapy, I was off the antidepressants. I was out of talk therapy, and I felt great. And that was almost 5 years ago now. Well, 4.5 years ago now. That's why I got into hypnotherapy, because it works so well for me to do those kind of things. So I'm curious, what do you guys do in the middle of a stressful situation to bring light into the chaos? When you're feeling that chaos, when you're feeling that sadness and that depression, what is something that you do that actually helps you get out of the funk? Because other people need ideas for this as well. And I'm going to give you some ideas as well. And then we're going to do a little hypnotherapy around it, just a little bit of a meditation around this. What's something that helps you? Because other people in the chat and perhaps other people that are watching the recorded version of this. Yeah, so Jennifer says she's in the healing process. Things are getting better and there are a few more good days. Good, slowly but surely. Well, and what will happen is the good days when you're doing this kind of work, Jennifer, is that the good days will replace the difficult days. And you'll find that there's going to be a shift from one to the other. So Drew says deep breaths and favorite music or a show. Right. Good. So something to distract you. That's good. It's good. There's just a little bit of a time delay just between what I'm saying and what you're hearing. So that's why I'm going to be just a couple seconds behind you. Did you know that anxiety and depression are actually the same in the brain? There's really not much difference between anxiety and depression in the brain. This is why a lot of talk therapists that do anxiety also do depression. Because when you treat one, you treat the other. So that's a really important thing. And this is why they're twin shadows. Anxiety and depression often go hand in hand. Both are emotional responses that can overlap with individuals frequently experiencing symptoms of both. Has anybody out there ever experienced both? I have. I had severe anxiety and depression twice in my life. And I was on meds twice in my life, but honestly, the thing that snapped me out of it permanently was hypnosis. And I do self-hypnosis every day. And the worst part is that they can coexist and they can amplify the challenges. Has anybody ever had both at the same time? So Sandy says, I read something spiritual or positive you can meditate on. Rob says, boil it down to the small actionable steps. That's what I did. Exercise. John says exercise. Yeah. Been diagnosed with both and meds for both. So keep taking your meds. Absolutely. Right? But other supplements like hypnosis can actually help really a lot. Yeah. Happy to be past the depression now. You guys are great. I appreciate the participation in the live tonight. And if you're watching the recording, please put your comments in as well. But cognitively speaking, there's not much difference between anxiety and depression. They really do go hand in hand. So traumatic events can deeply impact our mental health. Obviously, such events, and as we mentioned in a previous coaching that I did, and tonight, trauma is anything that our emotions just can't handle or process. Such events can be a significant root cause of both anxiety and depression, triggering intense emotional responses that can have long-lasting psychological effects long after the event has passed. So these traumatic events can again, they can be long periods of time, or they can be one event, like the paperclip hitting my face when I was in junior high school. So I'm curious if anybody's willing to share, and again, if you're watching the recording, you can share in the comments. How has a past trauma echoed in your present? And what steps have you taken to heal and move forward? How has a past trauma echoed in your present, and what steps have you taken to heal and move forward? Jennifer says some symptoms of anxiety are very different than depression symptoms and vice. Yeah, well, I'm not saying anxiety and depression have the same symptoms. Oftentimes, I would say that anxiety is sort of outwardly focused and depression's inwardly focused. But from a neurological standpoint, and I get this from Jeffrey Schwartz's book, The Mind and the Brain, they're virtually the same thing. There's virtually zero difference cognitively when they put people in fMRI machines. That's why anxiety and depression go together so well. They don't go together well, but you know what I mean, is that they're very much, it's like laughter and crying. So a lot of flashbacks. I have to ground myself and remind myself that I'm past that now in a way. Yeah, I think that that's really good. It's sort of grounding yourself. I like that idea of grounding yourself. And that's one of the things that you can actually do is you can look around the room and just sort of start naming objects. That actually is a really good way to do it. A really good way to sort of ground yourself, to feel the carpet underneath your feet, to feel the chair underneath you, to allow yourself to do that. So hypnotherapy. So here's the good news. And I'm living proof of this, everybody. I'm living proof, and I know that your answers are still coming in. Some cruel people made me feel worthless. It comes up when I feel like I fail at something. Learning through hypnotherapy to love yourself. I can say that is true, Jennifer. I can say that's true. So I'm living proof of this myself. Like I said, I've told you my story before if you've been here before, but I was having 2 panic attacks a day, and I remember March of 2019, I was basically immobile. My mom had to come clean my house for me because I was in such bad shape. And that's when I got onto the Lexapro. That's when I got into and again, if you're on meds, have the hope, have the goal in mind that you're going to get off of them sometime with your doctor's approval. But you want to do all the internal work so that you don't need those things anymore. And I will tell you, hypnotherapy for me was that thing. I was in talk therapy for 5 years. I was in talk therapy for 10 years total of my life. And I was on medication twice in my life, once Zoloft and once Lexapro. And the only thing that helped me was hypnosis. And I'm not just saying that so you guys like hypnosis the way that I do. It is literally the thing that saved my butt. And it still continues to save my butt every day. I go to hypnotherapy every day. I have hypnotists that I go see. I get hypnotized by my colleagues. It's really kind of nice because I don't have to pay for it. And so it's really a great thing for me to be able to do that. And that's something too. You're immobile too. Talk therapy and medicine. So you're mobile meds. So you're having trouble, huh, Gabriella? So there's a lot of people that are kind of suffering tonight as we're recording this, as we're broadcasting this. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing what you have to say here. But the good news is that it actually does help. And how does it help? Why does it help? Well, hypnotherapy helps because what it does is it can. So my number one rule of hypnosis. Let me pull up my number one rule of hypnosis here, because it's a really good one. I have rules for hypnosis, and I think this is a good time to sort of bring this out. My number one rule of hypnosis is everything is hypnosis, but hypnosis can be defined as giving someone an experience so real that it changes their beliefs, behaviors, thoughts, and feelings. So let me read that to you again. And I'm reading from a definition that I really believe. Hypnosis can be defined as giving someone an experience so real that it changes their beliefs, behaviors, thoughts, and feelings. So we know, and they've put people in MRI machines. We know that hypnosis can actually rewire your brain. We know that that's the case. We know that hypnosis can rewire your brain. Yes, it's nice to know that. Okay, so I didn't see that comment until now, Gabriella. So we are here for you, and that's why we do these things, so you know that you are with people. And I think that that's a very good reminder. That's a very good reminder when we're struggling, is to remember that you have people to rely on. That's why I created the community like I did. That's why I do these things right here, so everybody can come together. I'm glad that you feel that. That's good. This is good hypnotherapy right now because, Gabriella, you can almost picture the other people around the country right now coming together for you. And if you're watching the recorded version of this and you're somebody else like Gabriella, you might not be able to see her comments because the live comments don't go with us. But you understand that you're not alone. I think that understanding is great hypnosis in and of itself, to remember that when you are struggling with something, when you are having a difficult time, that there are people here for you. And this is why we have stuff like this. This is why we make sure that we do it live every week, is so that you understand that you are here with people that care about you. And that you are, in fact, not alone. And that's a really fantastic thing. Oh, nobody here, Gabriella, thinks you're being dramatic. That's the nice thing. I understand you don't get that support at home, but that's why you have to become part of a group like this. This is why you need support. This is why I do a group work. Yeah, good. Look at all the support you're getting. That's really great. And you know what? The other thing is that supporting each other, we're supporting ourselves. When we reach out, when we get out of our own head, it's a really great, it's the 12 steppers. It's the 12th step of Alcoholics Anonymous, or 12th step of recovery, is going out and helping other people. So by reaching out to Gabriella, and whoever is reading or seeing this, understand that in the live comments, we have a great amount of support going on for someone. That helps you too. That helps you too to be stronger in what you're doing. You guys are awesome. You guys are really doing a great job of helping. It's really, really great. Oh, okay. Hey, so everybody in the Facebook group, I am at that link that I put at the top of the thing. I'm not watching the Facebook comments, but I saw that you're all there. I'm actually not looking at them at all. Francis says, go outside and find peace outdoors. I think that was to another thing I asked a few minutes ago. So that's great. So people say procrastination is the problem and you freeze. Oh. So procrastination is another form of anxiety for a lot of people. It just means that your brain is yeah, Rita, I agree with Rita. I'm proud of you for being here. So we got people on a whole bunch of different platforms right now. And if I'm not seeing your comments because you're watching on the Facebook group, know that there's a link up there that you can join our comment section. So I'd like to spend the next few minutes just doing some hypnosis with you, just a little light hypnosis with you. Now, I do all of my. Let me ask you this question. This is a good question I have right now. How do you, this would be a great answer. I think Gabriella would be helped by this. Anybody would be helped by this who's also watching the recording. How do you envision healing from within? How do you envision healing from within? How do you envision healing from within? It's a really great question. How do you envision healing from within? Peace. Peace is how you envision healing from within. Procrastination is just a temporary stall. It takes a tiny step. Yeah, actually, Britt Frank is somebody that I would highly recommend if you're looking for somebody to talk about procrastination. She's on Instagram and YouTube. She's really awesome. Britt Frank is her name. So before we go into the hypnotherapy, I just wanted to, if you haven't had a free session with me yet, you are welcome to have one. There's the link. I'll put the link in the descriptions of any future things, or the link will be below this screen. You can go there. You should continue to hear everything that I'm saying. And if you want to make an appointment for free, I only charge people, and I know that I can help them. Now, your healing may be in one session, your healing may be in 3 months, but you got to keep at it. But I'd love to invite any of you who haven't had a session with me yet. I know that I had to cancel on a couple people last week, so you're welcome to rebook that session because I had a family thing that came up. But you're welcome to do that. Welcome to have that session. It's one-on-ones, you and me talking on Zoom. And we'll explore some of this together, and if we think it's a long-term fit, then we'll do that. We'll work long-term. But I want to make sure that it's something I can help with. Something I can help people with. So a lot of the answers are coming through on my side now. Believe in yourself, taking control of your thoughts. Healing from within means more balance. Moving smoothly through the day without upsetting thoughts. Wow, these are great. These are really good. That's right. Well, so let's do a little hypnotherapy right now. Let's do a little hypnotherapy. And again, we're not going to do too deep of a dive here, but what we're going to do is just a little relaxation, just a little bit of metaphor work. So what I want you to do is I want you to get nice and comfortable right now. And if you're watching on the phone or the tablet or something, just put it down. As long as you can hear me, that's all you need to do. And I want you just to just sink into your chair a little bit. I want you just to sink into your chair a little bit. Almost like you're a rag doll. I just want you to find a spot on the wall to stare at. Now, what I want you to do is you're staring at that spot on the wall, and there's a reason we stare at spots on the wall, because when our eyes are still, that means that your brain doesn't have to think. When we think, our eyes are moving all over the place. Fixating your eyes on something, and I'm looking right at my camera right now. And so after a few minutes of this, everything starts to kind of slow down a little bit. Just breathe and just notice your breathing. Take a nice deep breath with your eyes closed. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Close your eyes and breathe in. Open your eyes and stare at that spot and breathe out through your mouth. Always stare at that same spot when your eyes are open. Close your eyes and breathe in. Open your eyes and breathe out. One more time. Close your eyes and breathe in. Now keep your eyes closed and breathe out. Just keep your eyes closed. Breathe in. Keep your eyes closed and breathe out. Now just breathe normally. Notice the change. Notice the change. And the different experience, something brand new, can come into your vision of that peace. Together, all of these new sensations are beginning that perspective on just how powerful your choices can be in this place where you begin to relax deeply, if you so choose. This brand new course of relieving all of the tension can melt away to a place yourself in that wonderful state of being here, the sound of my voice. Just let go of all the tensions of the day. I want you to think of putting an ice cube in a hot cup of coffee, and it just melts. And that's your stress melting away. I love that image of an ice cube in a hot cup of coffee. Doesn't stand a chance. And when you start to relax now, you begin to let go now, is the time for you to let all that tension and stress melt away, to allow the relaxation to fill your body, almost like a liquid relaxation. Every breath of the sound of my voice takes you deeper and deeper, and let those eyes be so heavy, so closed, so relaxed that even if you tried to open them, they would just be more shut. And just imagine a liquid relaxations filling your whole body, like a liquid relaxations filling your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, every muscle going loose and limp. And relaxed feelings throughout your entire body can go to that. And it's almost like waves on an ocean that ebb and flow and create that rhythm of that tranquility and that change of your whole disposition. Can have a movement toward that serenity and that calmness. Will begin to allow you to breathe more easily, breathe more deeply, breathe more fully. That wonderful state of relaxation that goes through your entire body begins that metamorphosis and that shifting towards something that's pleasant and peaceful and calming. And breathe in and breathe out. And imagine that ice cube melting in that hot cup of coffee, or that hot cup of tea, or that hot bowl of soup. It just goes away. It just melts like butter in a pan. And go just a little bit deeper now. And I want you to imagine that you're outside on a beautiful day and it's springtime or late summer. It's just so beautiful. And there's not a cloud in the sky. And you're on a gravel pathway that stretches in front of you ever so slightly. And there's trees. There's trees. And I want you just to imagine walking forward just a little bit and turning around and seeing your old self there. I want you to turn around and see your old self there, the one that just before this session, before you listen to this. And I want you to see that version of yourself just carrying the whole world on their shoulders. See the tension, see the stress. See that tension and see that stress. And I want you to imagine that weight of the world is like a balloon. And it starts to rise off of them. And that weight of the world begins to float into the sky far away, like a child that released a helium balloon. And the farther away it gets, the smaller it gets. And the farther away it gets, you see that old version of yourself starting to lose the anxiety, start to relieve from the depression. And it's being replaced by joy and peace and calm. And you see them straightening up. And you see the color coming back into their face. You can imagine that their voice is stronger than it ever has been before. You see them almost becoming alive again as that weight of the world just floats away like a balloon. And you watch that weight of the world fly right into the sun. And it's just gone forever. And notice as I say that, what changes in your body. Where your disposition and your understanding begin to have that shifting into something more peaceful and calming. The tranquility and the serenity of that ability for you to choose to let go of your anxiety. To choose to let go of whatever thoughts are causing your depression, sadness. To discover that joy within yourself. Imagine that old version of yourself walking towards you, feeling so good and so wonderful, and stepping right into your shoes, bringing with her or him all of the resources that allowed them to let go of the weight of the world. Let go of the weight of the world. And turning back toward the front of the path, the future, you all of a sudden you feel that change within your body. Imagining yourself healing, even if you're not completely healed right now, that's okay. The healing has begins tonight. You find that change and that shift. Your whole understanding. There becomes a brightness and an illumination. With your head held high. Feeling so good and so wonderful right now. Just allowing yourself to feel that difference. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. On 4, you can open your eyes, and on 5, you can come all the way back, and I want you to tell me how you're feeling in the comments as I count 1, 2, 3, open your eyes, 4, and 5. Come all the way back. Feeling so good and so wonderful right now. Just let me know when you open your eyes how you're feeling in the comments. What shifted, what changed? What shifted and what changed? What shifted and what changed? Good. We'll take a tiny bit lighter. If we had a bunch of tiny bit lighters and all of a sudden you're feeling good, stronger inside, that's right. A little relaxed. Hey, you know what? This in a thing like this, I'll take it. This is a kind of a big group thing, and you can't really talk to me and I can't see you, so you're doing all right if you're feeling stronger, lighter, relaxed. Awesome. Your brain is relaxed without the whirling thoughts. That's right. I feel relaxed. I feel all the tensions out of my shoulders right now. Fully relaxed, John said. That's great. Eileen says over here, peaceful. Excellent, everybody. Everybody's doing great. Again, if you haven't had your session with me yet, here's the link. You can go sign up for it right now. I have some spots tomorrow. I don't have as many spots Friday. If you're watching the live, if you're not, then good luck. I book up, so book as soon as you can. You guys, it's great to have you here. I hope that you're feeling wonderful. I hope you're feeling great. I hope this has been something that's been very helpful for you. I hope that there becomes shifts in your whole mind and your whole heart. Let's do it again. Lorraine, let's meet soon. It's time. It's time for us to meet soon. Everyone else, you're welcome to meet. You're welcome to meet. You're welcome to book an appointment anytime you want. All right. You guys have a really great night, and I will talk to you soon. And those of you who are in the 8:30 Eastern group, there's a different link, obviously, because that's a Zoom call. And if you need that link, you can text me. All right. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll see some of you in a few minutes.